What up, people? Welcome to another edition of General Talk, the infrequent podcast where I talk about things that have gone on in my life. And before we get started, let's talk about the power of five. Five. Like, comment, subscribe, notify, share. These 5 actions will help us spread our content to more and more people and hopefully make someone's life a little bit better for it. Because that's why we do what we do. We want to inform you, we want to educate you, and we want to entertain you. It is what it is. Show your support, and at the very least, like the video. And now, on with today's topic, which is simply haters. A hater is somebody who, for one reason or another, doesn't like you. They don't like you at all. And I don't care what you say, they dislike you. Let's wind that back for a second. They don't like you at all. I don't care what you say. They like you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, you can try. You can appeal to their better nature. You can gift them things. You can do anything that you want that you feel would be a more favorable outcome to that situation. But if they don't like you, they don't like you. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of being on King Rich's podcast. Shout out to you, King Rich's. I like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. More power to you. You are entertaining. You are insightful. You are informative. And I like rocking with you. It's that simple. You're good people. But anyways, I was on the podcast with him. I did a call-in on his call-in show. And we got to talking about haters. And we got to talking about why people do what they do. He was telling me about how on the Just Pearl things, and shout out to you, Pearl, and your crew over there. On the infamous Nick Fuentes interview, how Nick Fuentes disrespected his girl. And people thought that he should go in on him, and he was weak for not going back on stuff like this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, why? It's done. She doesn't seem any worse for wear. She's big enough and strong enough and wise enough to take care of herself. And he wasn't there because if he was there, me doesn't think it goes the way it went. And if he's there and it escalates, and it invariably will, because the first rule of a man when he's with his woman is to protect. So he's doing something that is perceived as disrespectful. He's going to rise up to her defense, whether she wants him to or not, because that's what men do. That's what they do. And it escalates. He winds up in jail. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Are you happy then? Are you happy then? Your king is locked up. Now, I'm not him. I'm not King Richards. I won't pretend to be him. It is not my place to tell him what he should or shouldn't do in a situation. The only thing I can do is I can look at it from another point of view, being my point of view, and simply discussing that. I'm not telling him what he should or shouldn't do. He's a grown-ass man. He can do what he feels is fit and right to do in a situation. And who am I to say otherwise? I'm nobody. I'm less than zero to him. So, yeah, you do what you got to do, King Richards. You do it. I got your back. And I don't care who else, if anybody else has your back behind me. I'm there. You're doing things that most men wish they could do. But they don't think they can. So they live vicariously through you. And in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with living vicariously through somebody else. Because they are where you imagine yourself to be. And so you are experiencing life through their eyes. And it is what it is. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. Now, back to the issue of haters. Haters gonna hate. And they don't need a reason to hate you. If there isn't one readily available to them, they'll make one up. Because remember this old truth. If someone lies enough, it becomes the truth. To them. See, that's the qualifier. A lie becomes the truth to them. Because they say it so much that they, in that sense, speak it into existence. It then manifests itself into a coherent thought. He's weak because he didn't defend his woman. Say it enough and it becomes fact. Or it becomes your fact. Because who are you to tell him what he needs to do? Who are you? I'll tell you who you are. You're nobody. You're just another speck on the wall. Another dust mite to be swept aside as they're coming through. They don't even know you're there. To quote Janet Jackson, he doesn't even know you're alive. That's where you stand. And all the manifesting in the world doesn't make it any less so. King Richards has also said that he doesn't give people that kind of clout because they don't deserve it, and they don't. They're riding his coattails. It's their 15 minutes of fame. Oh, he's finally screwed up. So I'm going to make an attack video on it, and I'm going to shoot up my views, and my subs are going to go up, and I'm going to make money, and I'm going to get monetized, and then I'm going to get picked up by sponsorships, and it's going to be great from here on in. Listen to what was just said. Really listen. I, me, me, my. Always first person. And also, and even more to the point, when you get right down to it, does what you or what is or what you're going to talk about conductive to a positive outcome? Yeah, it does for you, not so much for him. And you really, really have to ask yourself, is it kind? Is it just? Is it fair? And if any answer to one of those three questions is in the negative, it's not worth doing. We are knee deep, not just knee deep, we are totally deep in the me movement. And this movement rose to fame and prevalence in the 80s, in the early 80s, when it wasn't so much about us. It was about me. Me, myself, and I. That's the we. And again, you have to ask yourself, how is all this relevant? How's it helping anybody? King Riches, I speak to you now. It doesn't matter what anybody else says about you. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how they feel. It doesn't matter what they do. As long as they keep their hands to themselves, it has nothing to do with you. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Haters gonna hate, let them hate. They can hate you all you want, or you count your money on the way to the bank. They can say what they want as you live your life the way you want to live it. Because, let's face it, they want what you got. They want what you got. And they will do just about anything to get it. Hence the hit pieces. Hence the hate videos. And as I said to you yesterday on the podcast, most of the time, they don't even know why they hate you. It's like a feud that started decades ago that has gone up to the present day. Nobody in the present day could tell you why it started. They don't know. It just is. So it is with these hit pieces and stuff. Nobody knows where it starts. The guy that was talking to you yesterday, before two calls before me, everything he said was, I heard. And when he did say, I know, it was dead wrong. It was dead wrong. Makes you wonder, what did they do before you came on the scene? And full disclosure, you're not new to this. As you also stated yesterday on the podcast, you've been doing this since 2016, I think you said? Somewhere around there? You were popping long before just Pearly Things. You were popping before you really jumped off, especially on the UK side. You've been, and actually no, because you started doing it when you were stateside. So, no. No, you didn't. So, that's a good point. So, no. You were there long before them, and you'll be there after they're gone, when the next manufactured outrage hits. And you're in great company. Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. Pearl, Auntie Jenny, yourself. Those are just four that come off the top of my head that have experienced negative comments. Pearl's biggest thing is she's a colonizer. Now, as you also said yesterday, she's not racist. Now, people can say what they want. I tend to believe the person who's closest to the subject matter at hand. You and Pearl work together. I hope you're friends. I really do. Because she needs a good friend or two right now. Somebody with their head on straight, who knows the game, and who's willing to rock with her. I really hope you guys are friends. And if you're not friends, I hope you become friends very soon. She puts money in the pockets of black people. Shout out to Anton Daniels. We don't agree on a lot. He's a bit more conservative than I like. But he was on point with this one thing when he said, what do you do for your community? How can somebody who is a racist employ so many black people? How? I'm waiting, and I hear nothing. People, and they're haters. The ones that are saying this are true haters. They have nothing to go on at all. And actually, this brings to a whole point to this whole haters thing that's going to make a lot of people mad, but it's an uncomfortable truth, and I'm going to say it. All you people out there who are hating on King Richards, on Pearl, on Auntie Jenny, on Kevin Samuels, on Donovan Sharp, all of them, anybody, and shout out to all my content creator people out there. Shout out to all you guys, because all you guys, in one way or another, gave me the intestinal strength to grab a mic and speak my mind. So, hats off to you. All my peoples, thank you. Thank you very much for holding me down. But wait a minute. Okay. I was going to say that all the people out there who are haters display the same level of intellect as the females you purport to despise. I'll say that again. all the people out there that hate so much, that have so much vitriol, so much anger, exhibit the same traits that the women that they despise and talk about online tend to exhibit. They're in their fields. They're in their fields. If you hate somebody, at least have a bona fide point of contention. At the very least. I don't like the fact that you said this, this, and this. Therefore, I don't like you. Fair enough. Fair enough. But when you say that, and then I say, well, yeah, but this, that, and the other thing negates your point. So what is your point? And you still say, well, I just don't like you. Who's in their feelings? The first ones to yell reels over feels. And yet you exhibit the same character traits that women have. I feel like. You feel like what? I feel like this, that, and the other thing. That's nice. That's good. Whatever helps you go sleep through the night. This stuff here. These haters. I wonder how they sleep at night. But then again, knowing what I know about these haters, they sleep just fine. Because to have a restless night means that there are things that happen during the day that your mind is thinking about not as free and encumbered that bring you pause. And I don't think that there's very much, if anything at all, that make these people pause. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. People like King Riches, people like Pearl, people like Donovan Sharp, Fresh and Fit. Shout out to Myron and Fresh. Shout out to Donovan Sharp, the lead attorney, MTR. People like that. I have a point of contention with most of them. There are times when I have a difference of opinion. And I have my facts and my data, my security, my statistics to back up what I'm saying. And when it plays against one of those people, what I like to do is I like to hear what they say. Actually stop. Before I engage my mouth, before I say something else, I stop and I think, what makes them say that? And then I listen to their reasoning, what helped them come to that conclusion, and then I weigh it against what I believe. And I go from there. And more times than not, you got a point, man. You got a point. Touche. Fair play. I, for the life of me, don't understand where these haters get their motivation from. Other than fleeting fame. I want to come to England so I can meet you, Auntie Jenny, Pearl, and the whole crew. And I want to kick it for a while. See where your heads are. And as an added bonus for this, just as I'm attempting to enter the JPT family, you enter the syndicate family or the family. And I can say this: what goes on in the family stays in the family. You don't have to worry about me opening my mouth. When I lived in England, in a small town on the coast, by just listening, not even talking, just listening, I got enough dirt on key people in that town to start a civil war. To this day, I still hold on to it. I may smile when I pass those people, or I did when I was there. But it's not my story to tell. It didn't happen to me. I was a third party. And I was told, because I guess they didn't think I'd say anything. And they were right. I'm not going to say anything. It's not my place to say. It's not my story to tell. So I don't tell it. But if I wanted to, I could alter friendships. I could alter the state of play in that town. I choose not to. If there's a problem that arises in the family, it is handled in-house. So you don't got to worry about me opening my mouth. Because garbage in, garbage out. That's simple. I wish that the haters would leave people alone. Like Michael Jackson said, just leave me alone. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I will bear the brunt of the consequences of my decisions. Good, bad, or indifferent. That is my story to tell. I didn't ask for it, and I sure as hell don't need anybody else giving me their 15 cents worth of bullshit. If I was you, but you're not me. You're not me. To quote the mighty Megatron, if I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. Sounds kind of cruel, but it's definitely true. If I want to know how you feel, I'll tell you how to feel. That's how little haters mean to me. less than zero. People say, I don't give a fuck. I don't give an eighth of a fuck. Less than that. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter how they feel. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do, as long as they keep their hands to themselves. Cross that line, all bets are off. You feeling froggy? Then leap. It bothers me because while watching that podcast yesterday, and I don't know if it came down to something like that. I can't find it today. Don't ask me what happened to it. I don't know. King Richards, if you're watching this, maybe you can find out what happened to it. But just watching this, you could sense ever so slightly the indignation, the pain, the sadness, as well as the anger in King Richards. Because I understand what he's talking about. You can tell people till they're blue in the face that this is a fact, and this is why it's a fact. They choose not to believe you. It can give you all kinds of reasoning why it's false, which doesn't hold a candle up. It's insignificant. A light breeze blows the candle out. That's how statistically insignificant their argument is. The guy yesterday was arguing with King Richards about black people, black women having problems with him. Because, and get this, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. You can ask him. Ask King Richards himself. The clip, and it's a clip taken out of context from a podcast 5 years ago. I said it again. 5 years ago. Started with average. His whole argument was that he shouldn't say that black women are average. And then he said that he heard that black women. Oh yeah, he heard that King Richard said black women without a wig on look like men. So what? That's how he feels. You don't have to like it. You don't like it, don't fucking listen. Turn it off. Walk your dog. Read a book. Watch some television. Hang out with your friends. Go to sleep. There are a million things you could be doing, but no, you want to sit here and cherry pick a 5-year-old podcast in the hopes that you're going to get a gotcha moment, go viral with it, and make some money. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. I'm here to tell you, unequivocally and with my whole chest, I'm going to tell you, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. And then, when after being shown what was said, and he agreed with what was said, he still circled back to the whole average thing, and then went back to the black women being like men thing. Let's for a minute. Let's say for a minute, he said it. Let's just go with that. Let's go with that. He said it. What the fuck does that have to do with the cost of tea in China? What? What? What does that have to do with anything? He's speaking his opinion. That's how he thinks. That's how he feels. That's what that's the thoughts that are articulated in his brain. If it has nothing to do with you, why are you stressing over it? Why does it bother you so much? If somebody says something about me that isn't true, and I'm indifferent to it. Because it doesn't mean anything to me. And going back to the whole King Richard's thing, it bothers me that it bothers him on some level. I don't know King Richard's from Adam. That's the first time that we spoke, ever, was last night call-in show. But as I told him, I rock with him. So it bothers me when he feels like there's something going on. It bothers me when he feels some kind of way. And it's like I said from other podcasts that deal with this, all this stuff. Although I'm fully aware that these people can take care of themselves, I can't stand by and let it rock. Because in my mind, in my head, in my experiences with life, when you hear something that doesn't jive and you say nothing, it's just like saying, yes, you're right. And no, it's not right. So yes, I'm going to push back. And depending upon how hard the pushback is, that's going to facilitate how hard I push back. My father, rest in peace, told me something once. Never start a fight, but by God, finish it. Never start a fight, but always finish it. And there have been times in my life where people think that we got into fights and they think they've won. I let them think that. Because I know in my heart, if I ever lose control, people will die. So I choose not to. if I let myself go, all bets are off. And I'll probably wind up in jail. Because it takes a whole lot for me to lose my cool. And even then, there are points in time where you can notice something's coming and either you or I can do something to step away from it. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Find a hobby. Something other than trolling the internet and trolling YouTube in the hopes of a clip that's going to give you a payday or a perceived payday. Because more times than not, you don't get anything. Do you know how many views you have to get? Not even talking about subscribers. How many views you have to get to become a full-time YouTuber? That's why they fail. Because something can go viral and they receive some sort of compensation from it. And then they can't do it again. So they're always prowling, hoping that this is the time I'll go viral and, I'll go viral and make some money. That's not a good way to live. Being beholden upon somebody else screwing up so you can make some money. Do better. And with that, I'm going to say, uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're going to call it now. That's going to be it. Thank you for allowing me to vent. Shout out to all my content creators out there who scour the internets, interview people on the streets, engage in social dialogue with the intent of making us all better people. You know who you are. I applaud you for it. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your contributions. Because it's people like you who blaze the trail for people like me to make what I do possible. Before we go, let us talk about the power of 5. Like, if there's one thing you do today before you leave the street, hit the like button. Hit the dislike button if you want to. But if you got this far, chances are you liked it. So hit it. It's free. Don't cost you nothing. Comment. Good, bad, or indifferent. We need to know what you think. We can't grow if we don't know. And one of the main purposes of a podcast is to grow on both the listener side and on the podcaster side. Challenge my mind. If there's something that you want to say it. You have an idea? Say it. We might put it on. Hey, that's a good question. We could build a podcast around that. Put a pin in it. Subscribe. You want our videos? 80 and counting. Subscriptions make it possible to watch our content in its entirety whenever, wherever you are, and whatever device that you're streaming on. Notify via notification bell. Be one of the first to know when we drop new content. And we're just getting started. I think in the coming days, I'm going to do a call-in show. And I'm definitely going to live stream. Be one of the first to know when we do. Share. If you like what we do, chances are somebody in your crew will like it too. In the interest of community, why not share it? There's a link in the description below. Copy and paste it. Email to somebody. Message to somebody if you're on your phone. The more people hear about what we do, the more some people are going to gravitate toward it. And the more they gravitate toward it, the more they'll put other people on. And so on, and so on, and so on. The journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with a single step. We've taken that step. How about you? And on that note, I bid you all adieu. This is OBJ. And thank you very much for allowing me to vent and make myself heard and this, that, and the other thing. And hopefully, I make somebody's day just a little bit brighter for it. So long, everybody. Take care of yourselves. And to quote the legendary Rakim, peace.